bright students, they are not able to go abroad just because they don't have enough funds, they don't have that particular backup financially. Sanction ratio of the industry in general in India is close to 45 to 50%. You ask any student who on the earth would love or would like their parents to be in debt. At the first place, they will first ask that, okay, is there any particular option where I can just let my parents not really sign up for this funds or for this debt? The interest rate that is mentioned on the sanction letter, would that rate would stay the same throughout the loan tenure? Unfortunately, the answer is no.
Hi Supriyo, welcome to this video. I hope this is going to be very, very helpful for the students who are going to watch it.
Looking forward.
Right. So Supriyo, the first question I have is about your personal journey, that how you joined MPOWER. What is the story behind that?
Yeah, okay. So it's been more than 16 years now for me in the education industry. And I'll be completing 2.5 years very soon with MPOWER. And it has got a fascinating story, because I've always been very passionate about helping the students and ensuring that they can fulfill their dreams. So in my last assignment with topper.com, I was handling and I was spearheading the social impact program sponsored by Michael and Susan Dent Foundation, where we helped more than 10,000 students, especially coming from underprivileged background, to get access to the digital learning. And it has always stayed in me that I should do work and I should offer my service wherein I can really help improve the quality of education and quality of life of the students at large. So when I came across this opportunity with MPOWER, I straight away connected with the pain of a couple of cousins of mine. They were pass outs from Jadavpur Engineering College, and when they wanted to really go out, especially to the US, they couldn't because of the co-applicant issue. Their parents were not well earning. They didn't have that much of property where they can really afford those funds. And that always stayed with me.
Right. Okay.
And when I came across this opportunity with MPOWER, it just clicked. And I thought that this is one of the reasons which I always wanted to solve this socio-economic problem, where meritorious students, bright students, they are not able to go abroad just because they don't have enough funds, they don't have that particular backup financially. So yeah, that's how I'm here, and I'm loving my experience.
So Supriyo, can you tell us more about MPOWER Finance? Like, what is the story behind it? How did it start? And when you guys entered India, what kind of growth have you seen in the last 2-3 years in India?
Oh yeah, sure. So we have just completed 10 years. I believe GyanDhan has also completed 10 years. So yes, we started around the same time. So MPOWER has got a very, very fascinating and very emotional journey. So, both our co-founders, Manu and Mike, they are...
Manu is Indian.
Manu is from France.
Okay. Right? I just got confused by the name.
Yes, he's from France, but he loves chai. And he's very Indian, when it comes to food and his liking. So yes, so one fine day, when Manu was working with one of the big four, one of his friends reached out to him and asked him if he could help him with just $500 because he was falling short of paying back to the university. And that's when it struck him that such a brilliant student, asking for $500, what's the problem? He before even he started thinking deeply into this particular problem. His sister again faced the same issue, and she wanted to come to US for her studies, and she again faced the same issue. And that's when the resolve got stronger, and Manu thought that we have to come up and actually launch a company which would solve the financial issues of millions of students who are facing issues and they are not able to come to either US or Canada due to financial constraints. So that's the core objective and the core problem that we are out to solve. And as we completely believe in that, we are here to ensure and make the socio-economic mobility borderless. So there shouldn't be any particular borders when it comes to merit and when it comes to the brilliance. So yeah.
And how has been the Indian market for Empower Finance?
It has been stupendous. There has been a stupendous growth for Empower. We have experienced we started our journey 6 years back here in India, and over the last 10 years, we are partnering with over 430 top-notch universities in US and Canada. We have processed more than $4.5 billion worth loan applications till date, and we are offering our loans to students spanning across 200 nations. So this is how we have grown over these years. And yes, in India we have experienced a hyper growth, and we have been growing at the pace of over 3x year over year when it comes to the Indian subcontinent.
Yeah, I can guess that given the study abroad experience from India has multiple in the last couple of years.
Absolutely. And just to reiterate, you must have seen, especially I'm quoting the data from Statista, right? The Indian NBFC's educational loan book grew by 43% in the last year of 2023. I am talking about the last half of 2023. Versus the traditional banks whose actually educational books grew by 6%. Now that shows us and gives us the hint that Indian students are now becoming independent. They really want to take decisions based on their capabilities and not really rely on either the assets or the financial condition of their students, of their parents. Right. So this is a very, very welcome change that we are experiencing here.
Right. So it's in line with when we started GyanDhan back in 2015, or when we were talking about it. We used to talk about that the penetration of education loan in Indian market is so low compared to Western markets. As a percentage in India, back then, single digit percentage students were taking loans. And that is obviously the exact numbers nobody knows at this point in time. But it has grown significantly. At least has reached to higher double digit side. On the broad level.
Absolutely.
You mentioned that Empower does loans across nations for the students. So what kind of loans Empower is doing in terms of what kind of colleges, what kind of courses, which countries do you support in terms of the loans?
Yes, exactly. So we are offering loans to the students who are aspiring to study their higher education, especially the master's degree, either in US or Canada. They have to pick and choose one of the universities which we have made eligible. So that's the only criteria that we have. And
but you mentioned there are 430 plus universities. And this is across the world, or there is a concentration?
It's only concentrated in the US and Canada. Mostly they will find the universities in the US, and then close to 10%, 15% of the universities in the in Canada. Right. So, and when you look at the courses, we have, and I believe this is the trend, and this is how the industry, overall study abroad industry is panning out. More than 90% of our students, we have found that they are either pursuing STEM degree or an MBA degree, right? So yes, and when we actually approve a university, then we approve all the courses. Of that particular university, and we don't limit ourselves to only a particular course. But yes, what we have noticed and experienced that most of the students in India, they prefer STEM courses or MBA while going abroad.
Right. Makes sense. So for any university that you work with, you are approving all the courses, irrespective if it is master's, bachelor's.
Exactly. So that's why, whenever a student comes and starts an application with Empower, if that university is eligible, right, it becomes easy for them. They don't have to really bother, and they don't have to really think about or worry about the courses.
So all the student needs to know is if the university that they're planning to take admission in, if that is in the list of Empower eligible universities or not. And they can simply know that from GyanDhan.
Exactly.
Because we work with you and we know that which are the universities.
Definitely.
That's great. So one of the things I've been noticing about Empower, or in general as well, that students usually are preferring unsecured loan, and Empower is giving unsecured loans. So first of all, I would want to understand, because so many lenders says that they offer unsecured loan. So what is the difference between your unsecured loan and the unsecured loans offered by other lenders in the market?
Yeah, absolutely. This is a great question, Aman, that you have asked. And especially for the students, to help them out, to break the myth, right, of this particular term called unsecured, right? The irony here is when you actually look at the term unsecured, it means that the students, when the students, they sign up for an unsecured loan, they should not face any issue when it comes to they not being able to pay back. Their parents, their co-applicants should not be held responsible. That should be the true essence of unsecured, right? Like you are completely, you're securing yourself and right. So, but here if you talk about the banking and the lending, infrastructure here in India, right? No collateral is quite prevalent. We understand that.
Yeah.
But the irony here is each and every particular student, they have to get a co-applicant in order to ensure that they get a no collateral loan, right? So in literary sense, when you talk about unsecured, right, it's actually not fully unsecured. You're getting your parents in debt, and that's how you're getting a loan. But with Empower, right, we do not need a collateral. We do not need a cosigner or co-applicant.
That means basis the
truly. So that means we don't even seek the information of the parents on our application form.
Oh wow. Okay.
Leave aside their income proof, their ITR returns and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So normally what we have realized that the students are aware of two options, with collateral, without collateral.
Okay.
But the option that should actually they would prefer, and probably I think they prefer, but they don't get to know from the industry, is no collateral and no cosigner as well, right? And that is what you ask any student who on the earth would love or would like their parents to be in debt. At the first place, they will first ask that, okay, is there any particular option where I can just let my parents not really sign up for this funds or for this debt?
Yeah.
So to an extent, yes, Empower is definitely helping those section of students who really don't want to put their parents in debt and they want to take charge of their life. They want to be independent. And we have seen those students choosing us over any other lenders in the market.
Right. I guess, and I anticipate that such number of students who want to take loan on their own profile will increase with time, because whenever so we at GyanDhan organize a lot of events, and especially in Indian colleges, I go in a lot of events. I talk to students, and when I ask that, okay, hey, how many of you want to take a loan, or how many of you want to study without involving your parents?
Yeah.
And many of them, very high percentage of them says that, okay, because parents have paid for their undergrad. And
probably they have already taken up some loan, personal loan, right? And that becomes much more difficult even for the Indian lenders to approve those cases for the students whose co-applicants have already taken up some loan or the other, right? Because then it affects their CIBIL score and there's a lot of thing at the back. So and especially when you look at the entire industry, normally we have realized that the sanction ratio of the of the industry in general in India is close to 45 to 50%.
Okay.
Right. What about those students who are not getting a sanction letter? Like, are they not eligible? Are they not don't they have rights to study abroad? So I think for all the students across cutting across the society, right? If they really need a loan without a co-applicant, without a collateral, Empower could be a preferred lender for them.
So how long does this process take of applying a loan to getting it approved and then getting it disbursed? So if you can walk us through this entire journey for a student.
A great question. And again, see, we are 100% digital in terms of our processes and our systems. As we offer our loan basis the future earning potential of the student, we have been able to create an AI algorithm which assesses the profile of the student. So here the student can check their eligibility on our platform within 30 seconds.
Okay.
And in order to submit an application, it takes them less than 25 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And why? Because we do not actually need loads of documents and loads of information from the student. When it comes to document submission, we need 5 to 6 documents, and that's about it.
Mm-hmm.
Vis-a-vis, if you look at the rest of the players in the industry, which needs a co-applicant, right? and then offering a no collateral loan, normally they would need many more documents to back up and to, to help the students get an approval. So our operations and our user experience and journey is very, very swift and very fast, right? And second, like, as soon as the student, submits the application, if it matches with the MPOWER's criteria, they get a conditional offer. Now, conditional offer means that, hey, like, we have understood your profile. It seems to be good, right? Please upload your documents and then move forward. And then once they upload the documents, if the documents are all fine and if we don't need any further information from the student, hardly takes 3 to 4 business days to get the final loan offer for the students. So that's how, the journey.
So on the broader term, it's a easy process because the documentation is online, the eligibility check is online, and then you're saying that the decision comes in a very fast-paced manner. So in a way, student can get in a week time, end to end, if they are proactive in terms of uploading documents and answering if any query that may come in the process. That's actually quite fast because though lenders claim 1 day, 2 day, but I've seen the documentation takes a lot of time because they are doing a loan with co-applicant collateral.
Yes.
Usually the list of documents is huge, and though they take the decision in a couple of days, but the students and the parents take a longer period of time.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah,
makes sense.
Agreed.
So Supriyo, whenever we talk about a loan and specifically education loan, the first thing that comes to mind is interest.
That's right.
Now, which we also usually tell the student that interest rate is not the only factor.
Yes.
Though it's a significant factor, you should decide from where you should take a loan from.
Yeah.
Now, the thing is that given MPOWER is an international lender, there are different kind of organizations in the market. There are banks, there are NBFCs, and then we consider MPOWER as an international lender for the Indian students.
Right.
So the way the rate has been portrayed are different. So for example, in India, they say interest rate, whereas in MPOWER language, we say APR, annual percentage rate, right?
Yes.
It's very difficult for the students to, differentiate because this is the first time they have been introduced. In fact, when I joined GyanDhan, that was the first time I got to know about term called APR. So if you can guide us around, okay, how do we look at the APR and how is it different from the interest rate, and then compare MPOWER's product vis-a-vis other lender, specifically on the interest rate as a criteria.
Absolutely. I think you have hit the nail, and this is so important for the students and the parents to understand as well, right? And we are doing our bits. We are educating the students and the parents to an extent where we can break the myth, we can demystify the concept of the interest rates that's prevailing in India. Now, to simplify this, right, if you ask any student or a parent, sir, what is the interest rate that you have got from a bank or an NBFC? The first thing that they would do would be that, oh, I heard from them, or could be a counselor, that so and so bank or NBFC is offering me this percentage, right? And it could be from, from one range. This could be a range, right? From minimum to maximum. After some time, again, when you would ask them, they would say that, oh, I got a sanction letter and it mentions that I'm getting this much of interest rate.
Yeah.
Now, the question is, the interest rate that is mentioned on the sanction letter, would that rate would stay the same throughout the loan tenure?
Okay.
Unfortunately, the answer is no. Because the first and foremost thing here is, with the domestic banking and lending industry, especially I'm talking about the INR, the lenders who are offering loans in the Indian rupees, they offer an interest rate which is floating in nature. I'll come back to what MPOWER offers, but let me first of all share with you what all are there in that particular so-called interest rate. So the interest rate that one could see on the sanction letter is not a fixed one, it's floating in nature. What does that mean? It means that the companies, the banks and the institutions, they have every right to change that particular interest rate, right, to meet their benchmark and spread, right? These are technical terms, but normally let us understand that this by combining these two factors of benchmark and spread, right, the students ultimately gets a interest rate, right, from the banks and institutions. What we have realized, and let me share with you, Aman, we were concerned and we actually got a shock when we found thousands of students came to us wanting to refinance their loan after a couple of years, who actually took loans from the domestic lending institutions. Why? Because even if you ask, you had so many students, in fact, you have helped so many students, right, go abroad, especially to the US or Canada. If you ask them, especially to the students who got the enrollments in the year 2022-23, if you even ask them that, can you get your repayment schedule from your bank and see exactly at what rate of interest you are paying to the bank, they will have a shock of their life. Because the interest rate at which they actually signed up and the interest rate that they are paying at the moment would be far higher than they would have realized.
In the last couple of years, the rates have increased, it's a floating rate of interest.
Exactly right.
Rate that has increased in the last couple of years.
Exactly. And there is also, a practice of reaching out to the students and parents saying that, hey, you can get a 0.5% discount or, some sort of discount. Today, if you sign up and if you pay the processing fees, the students, they obviously, they are not aware of the other options. They say yes to those narrations as well. That's not very good and healthy for the society, by the way. Over and above the floating rate of interest, again, as I mentioned, no student, no child on this earth would really like their parents to be in debt. So it becomes easy for these organizations to sell the component of insurance to them. And the insurance would be somewhere from 0.5% to 2% plus GST. And for few organizations, I'm not generalizing it, but for very few organizations, they charge as high as 8% of the principal amount as insurance fee. It's shocking, but yes, that's the reality. Now, you also take that component and be ready to add up to the interest rate that the student got. So floating interest rate, there is a bump. Then there is an insurance component. Again, we need to add that. Then comes the forex fees and the banking and wire charges, right? You are getting a loan in Indian rupees. You need to send it to the university, right? You have to convert that, right? And while converting, not only you will incur the conversion charges, but also the banking and transactional charges. And that would be close to 2 to 3% plus GST again, right? Obviously, do consider that you would also pay back. Once you settle in US, you will be paying back your EMIs in India, right? Okay, then there is a processing fee of 0.5% to 1% plus GST, right? And then there are other charges like TCS, then there are stamp duties, and there are miscellaneous charges as well. Now, when you add all this additional cost to the rate which a counselor have said or shared, or the parents and students get to see on the sanction letter, altogether it goes to close to over 16 to 17%, at which the student actually repays the loan to the lender. So when you add all the cost that is possible, right, to charge a particular student and help them repay the loan, that we call it as APR, that is annual percentage rate. That means all inclusive, what am I paying back to you? Right? So anybody who would be in the bracket of 11.5 to 12.5%, who is actually getting to see this sort of interest rates on the sanction letter, eventually, if all these particular costs are involved, they will be paying back to that particular lender at the rate of over 16 to 17% for sure. Right. Now, when you look at MPOWER, we offer a fixed rate of interest. That means you will never ever come across any shock in your life that today I have, promised you some rate. After 3 months, my rate would be something different. It will never happen with you. So we offer our interest rates based on the profile of the student. And our interest rate, it starts from 12.74%. Right? And there is an origination fee of 5%. Now, what is this 5%? Say for an example, if a student takes $100 from us, we add just $5 to it. And that $5 the students can pay throughout the tenure of the loan.
It gets added in the loan.
Gets added in the loan. This is the concept of the interest rate. So when we as Empower would actually the interest rate to the students, as the students are not educated and they don't know all this, intricacies and nuances, they don't do an apple to apple comparison. And that's when they think that, okay, it seems that this particular lender, a domestic lender, is offering me a better proposition than,
So ideally then they need to look at all the components.
All the components.
Add all of them. And in simple manner, Indian students, they can put a final dollar number or final rupee number that, okay, if I take a loan from here, this is how much I will pay eventually. In fact, just while we're talking about it, I would like to share with the people that we have a EMI calculator.
Yes.
That does exactly this. Yes. So it's a customized EMI calculator on our website, which has all of this component, whether you're paying during education or not, partial interest, full interest, for how long, eventually how much will you pay. So if you want to compare, you can use GyanDhan EMI calculator, comparing, let's say, Empower with anyone, and can find out where you are getting a better deal.
Absolutely.
Over the years, I have seen is that there is no one answer fit for everyone, right? So your and mine financial health is different, and simply because of that, you and I will get a different product.
Exactly.
Right. Every lender, and for every lender will perceive me differently compared to perceive you differently.
Absolutely.
So it's always better to compare and then take decision. In fact, we usually say that when you buy a mobile phone, you compare it on Flipkart, Amazon, maybe these days on Meesho as well, and talk to people, any discounts, credit card discounts, and then you eventually buy a phone. Whereas when you're taking an education loan, you simply just find out from your senior or somebody that you took from there, I'll take it from there as well. So that's a very...
Exactly. I think, Aman, you are actually, hitting the right buttons here. See, the students are going to take $40,000, $50,000 bare minimum for their education loan. I believe they should invest more in terms of understanding what is the holistic proposition, what is the holistic value they are going to derive from a lender. And their thoughts should not only be limited to the funds or the percentage rate that they're getting. In fact, they should look at which lender is essentially helping me to succeed on the foreign soil, because that's important, because there you are alone, your family is here. You're going there and you would be actually leading an independent life. There would be communities around, but it will again take some time to gel with those communities as well. Which is close to me, which lender is really going to help me to succeed in life. And good that you brought up the moratorium and the partial interest rates as well, just to let you know and to clarify and help the students understand. See, people wants to be global, right? How it is possible that their credit should remain local? What I mean to say is, students staying here in India, taking up an INR loan, they will only build a CIBIL score which is not valid in the US. When you go to US as an international student, you need to build your FICO score or US credit history. And why it is important to build US credit history? Because if you want to rent an apartment for your accommodation, right, whether you would be staying 5 kilometers, 2 kilometers within the university premises, or you have to stay, on the countryside, right, would depend on, the FICO score or the US credit score you have. I'm talking about the options. Right? What kind of deal you are going to get, right, from any particular platform or from the landlords of all these particular accommodation apartments would again depend on, whether you have a credible US credit history or not. And we can link this directly to the dollars also that somebody can really save. Somebody who would stay within the premises or within the periphery of the university versus somebody who needs to travel 20 kilometers, 30 kilometers or even more than that is definitely something to think about, right?
Yeah.
We should really think about that. Second, when somebody needs to even buy a car or even rent a car in the US, they need to show the FICO score. They need to have a US credit score as well.
It makes your life easier if you have that
It makes
score.
your life easy. And there are employees where they check the US credit score of the student before the interviews as well, just in order to be assured that, okay, whether the student is under financial distress, whether the financial integrity is intact or not.
Makes sense.
And over and above, even if somebody goes for and asks for credit cards there, the terms and conditions would depend on your FICO score, right? Or the US credit score. So it is always very, very important for the international students to don't realize now because nobody talks about it.
Yeah.
But when the student, they really go to US, if they do not have a credible US credit score, they really face issues in sustaining life in the US. And for us, it is so important because see, we are offering loans which are with no collateral, no cosigner. We won't come back and chase the parents. We won't come back and probably seize the properties for the students if they are not able to pay. Yeah. Our main intent, our intention, our motive is that the student, our borrowers should be able to lead a successful life in US, and only then they would be able to pay us back, or in Canada. So US credit score is definitely very, very important, and this is only possible when they start paying, Empower the simple interest on the loan that they have taken
is
from us.
Is that optional?
We always encourage the students to pay those simple interest, right? And obviously, let us again break it. If a university, or the total loan is for say $40,000 and the tuition fee is close to say $30,000, I'm just sharing an assumption here. No university will take $40,000 or $30,000 tuition fee at one shot. It is always divided in tranches, in semesters, right? So if somebody is only giving $10,000 in the first semester or $15,000, right? It's very, very easy to, repay those simple interest because any which ways, there is no upfront payment that we are seeking. We give our visa support letter free of cost to the student. We don't charge an upfront processing fee from the students to get a visa support letter. You have that particular money with you. We're not charging anything upfront to offer the insurance because we don't need that particular insurance. We are not charging you the forex fees as well. It's not upfront. You're any which way, saving that particular fund. Utilize that fund and build your US credit history because that will again, open a lot of doors for you to see and check and get access to the larger financial ecosystem that's prevailing in the US. You can refinance your loan. If you have a credible US credit score, only then you will be able to refinance your loan.
Quite.
So these are the benefits which the students don't realize because, probably they don't get to hear from the market.
So Supriyo, what happens once the loan is disbursed? Then what is the relationship between the student and Empower once the money has been given? Usually one would assume that, okay, now money is given, now everything just pays back and that is the only relationship. Is it so?
Not really. Our journey starts from there. Actually, so we offer a maximum of $100,000 to the student and they can utilize $50,000 per academic term. So, and they don't have to really get into the hassle of sending back and forth money because we do that needful for them. We send the money directly to the universities because we have relationships with all these universities. Now, when it comes to supporting the students, we look beyond the funds, and that's when our Path to Success program, gets triggered for the students, for our borrowers. Just to let you know, right, when they accept our loan offer and when they proceed with the disbursements, we help them with F1 visa preparation, their modules, their one-on-one interviews. There is an entire ecosystem available for them where we help the students prepare for F1 visa interviews and preparation. That's absolutely a benefit which we give our students without charging any fees. It's complimentary. Yes, if they really want to take that particular services to the next level and they want to get access to the premium services, they need to pay a very minimum amount, right? But rest, we do have a standardized product for them which will help them to prepare for F1 visa.
Correct.
Right. Second, once they are in the US, in the first year itself, we trigger their internship search assistance.
Okay.
So again, there is an internship search assistant tool we have, which would help the students search for the right internships basis their cohort and basis their courses.
So only the students who took loan through
MPOWER
will be eligible for this.
Exactly. The borrowers who took the disbursements from MPOWER.
It must be in your dashboard somewhere.
We have a complete ecosystem. They will get the portals, they will get the login credentials, and they would be able to start their journey with that. Think about the student.
Usually people get internships through that. Like, have you heard stories?
We have kickstarted this recently. And yes, but the ecosystem and the, we definitely have partnerships. The way we have been helping the students out, right? So this ecosystem that we have is proven and tested, and it has helped more than 20,000 students earlier to actually, get placed or to search for the right internship in the US. So that's absolutely proven and tested, the solution that we are giving it to them. Now, once the internship is sorted, obviously more the merrier, right? They would get options from the university, who would deny and who would really not like to get 5 more or, 7 more options coming on their way, right? They'll always have that particular choice of making the right decision. When they are about to graduate, just 6 months before their graduation, we trigger our job assistance program, where we help the students to search for the right job. We review their resume. We help them to track and monitor their applications to various small and medium-sized industries. We help them to map the keywords to the STEM and OPT related either internships or the jobs that's available in the market, right? Now, look at MPOWER and let us try to see in holistic sense. A company which is offering a loan without a cosigner, without a collateral up to $100,000, getting you a visa support letter free of cost, wherein nobody is actually, asking the students to put their neck on the line and say, hey, you take it or or the offer is gone. It's not happening with MPOWER. Third, we are helping the students to build their US credit history, which is so important for the international students. Fourth, they use our visa support letters to get their I-20, and with our offer letter and the I-20, they actually set for the visa interviews. Fourth, when you compare the APR, you always find there is a lot of value that one can drive through us. Fifth, we help them with their F1 visa interview and visa F1 preparation. Next, we help them with the internship search assistance. And not the last but not the least, we also help them with their job assistance program as well. So when you combine all these products, all these benefits, and then when you try to see, right, which offer, which product, which services will help me as a student to succeed on the foreign soil, to succeed on either US or Canada, I believe hands down, students would start thinking on the grounds where they would see security and also somebody who is helping them out, right, to succeed and probably either get an internship or the jobs.
It makes sense as well. Until unless the student gets success, your money is at stake.
Yeah, exactly. So, and this is good for them, right? It's good for them as well, right? Vis-a-vis, if you look at the trend in the industry, the interaction and the relationship is only transactional. You take money and give the money back, and that's about it. We start our journey from there.
Makes sense. Any specific interesting story that you would like to share of any aspirant whom empowers?
There are many.
It is not a mainstream story. Maybe something out of the box.
Definitely, yeah. There are many, in fact. And before I get into that, also I would like to let you know that there is a myth in the Indian banking and its industry, especially for the educational loans industry, that the students are not qualified for US tax exemptions.
Okay.
Right? It's not true. International students do get tax exemptions in the US. They just need to figure that out. So international students, MPOWER borrowers, they do get tax exemptions. Just to let you know.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, so coming back to, there are thousands of stories, Aman, but I would love to highlight, which is very close to my heart. There was a student called Utkarsha, and she's from Maharashtra.
Okay.
Right? And she comes from a very, very humble background where Her parents, they literally didn't have very, funds to help her study abroad, because they already had some compulsions and they had debt, right?
Okay.
She knocked and she went to everybody. I'm talking about the top 3 banking institutions, got rejected. And she always used to think that just because I'm born in this society and in this family, right, it shouldn't stop me to chase my dreams.
Yeah.
And if I'm as intelligent as any other student who is privileged,
Yeah.
why only the finance will, should be a bottleneck? And then she reached out to us. She was completely surprised to know that, we didn't even ask the name of her parents on the application form. She filled out that application form on the same day she got the conditional offer, and within a couple of days she got the offer letter from us. And now, as I speak, she was studying in DePaul, right,
Okay.
in the US, and she was pursuing her data science.
Wow.
Right. And there are thousands and thousands of Utkarsha.
Yeah.
Where we as an organization wants to really reach out and help them.
Yeah.
Just that probably they are not aware that they really don't need the hard-earned money and assets of their parents to fuel their study abroad journey. They need to empower themselves with MPOWER. That's it.
That's very heart-touching. So I hope the conversation that we had, that is going to be helpful for the students. And together, GyanDhan and MPOWER is set out to help thousands of students, if not lakhs, in the coming years.
Absolutely.
And we have been working with MPOWER for quite some time. And this USP of having somebody who don't have collateral and a co-applicant, they have a door. Whenever I speak in my events, my own videos, I keep telling them that gone are those days where only the rich people used to go abroad. Now, if you have the potential, there will be a way for you to, if you're going to a good university, if you're taking admission in the right college, then there are financiers around, including MPOWER Finance,
100%.
to help you out with the loans and other support available.
Sure. We are just there, and thanks to GyanDhan, GyanDhan has been a great trusted partner for MPOWER, and we have been helping thousands of students together. So we really look forward to touching the thousands more lives in the coming years. And we are all there for the students. Please feel free and just drop a line if you need any help with respect to your journey. We are there with funds, and more so, we are also there to help you with our Path to Success program to help you succeed either in the US or in Canada. See you there.
Yeah. Thanks, Supriyo, for your time.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Aman. Thank you.